What is it that undergirds American success? Many would argue that it's the Hebrew Bible values, the Judeo-Christian values that founded the United States. And that's the point that's made over here in this clip with Mark Levin. He says that that is what fueled the victory, the success in America's recent taking out of Iran's nuclear facilities. So let's watch this clip together and then talk about it. But first, hit that subscribe button over there in the corner. We'd love to stay in touch. Check this out.
Unbelievable. You love these people. That's for you, the United States military. That's for you, the Commander-in-Chief, our Commander-in-Chief, the President of the United States. You deserve to be honored and loved by the American people, and you are. 90% of the American people supported this. And now that it's been victorious, even more. And I would be terribly remiss if I didn't mention our great partners in this battle, the Israelis. Their tremendous leader as well, Benjamin Netanyahu, their tremendous IDF, the Israeli Defense Forces, their intelligence agencies, Mossad and so forth. They're in this war, and they fought, and they fought, and they still fight. We're a great team. No matter how many people try to divide we Americans from the Israelis, we share a Judeo-Christian belief system. The Holy Land is our Holy Land, our Holy Land. That's where Judaism and Christianity was born, right there, right there. And in honor of the Israelis, they have a prayer that they sing, sometimes read, in support of the Israeli Defense Forces, the IDF. And I want to share that with you right now.
Amen.
Fantastic. America, Israel, fought like really two countries have rarely done. Donald Trump is a friend of mine. Benjamin Netanyahu is a friend of mine. Now I want you to hear from a president for whom I worked for 8 years. 8 years, and whose portrait, official portrait, when President Trump sits at the Resolute desk is over his left shoulder. Ronald Reagan. Almost 40 years to the day. Almost 40 years to the day. Go.
All of these states are united by one simple criminal phenomenon: their fanatical hatred of the United States, our people, our way of life, our international stature. And the strategic purpose behind the terrorism sponsored by these outlaw states is clear: to disorient the United States, to disrupt or alter our foreign policy, to sow discord between ourselves and our allies, to frighten friendly third world nations working with us for peaceful settlements of regional conflicts, and finally to remove American influence from those areas of the world where we're working to bring stable and democratic government. In short, to cause us to retreat, retrench, to become Fortress America. Yes, their real goal is to expel America from the world. And that is the reason these terrorist nations are arming, training, and supporting attacks against this nation. And that is why we can be clear on one point: these terrorist states are now engaged in acts of war against the government and people of the United States. And under international law, any state which is the victim of acts of war has the right to defend itself. Now, for the benefit of these outlaw governments who are sponsoring international terrorism against our nation, I'm prepared to offer a brief lesson in American history. A number of times in America's past, foreign tyrants, warlords, and totalitarian dictators have misinterpreted the well-known likability, patience, and generosity of the American people as signs of weakness or even decadence. Well, it's true. We are an easygoing people, slow to wrath, hesitant to see danger looming over every horizon. But it's also true that when the emotions of the American people are aroused, when their patriotism and their anger are triggered, there are no limits to their national valor nor the consuming passion to protect this nation's cherished tradition of freedom. Teddy Roosevelt once put it this way: the American people are slow to wrath, but when their wrath is once kindled, it burns like a consuming flame. And it was another leader, this time a foreign adversary, Admiral Yamamoto, who warned his own nation after its attack on Pearl Harbor that he feared, quote, "We have only awakened a sleeping giant, and his reaction will be terrible." Yes, we Americans have our disagreements, sometimes noisy ones, almost always in public. That's the nature of our open society. But no foreign power should mistake disagreement for disunity. Those who are tempted to do so should reflect on our national character and our history, a history littered with the wreckage of regimes who made the mistake of underestimating the vigor and will of the American people. So let me today speak for a united people. Let me say simply, we're Americans. We love this country. We love what she stands for, and we will always defend her.
This is who we are, America. Not who the press says we are, not who the isolationists say who we are, not who the Democrats say who we are. These are Lilliputians. These are people who would get us killed. These are people who seem to be more interested in promoting what they hoped would be our failure or the reaction to victory. These are very dangerous but important times we live in. We have a president of the United States who is a historic and iconic figure. He sees these things. He understands it. He has counter pressures that try to undermine him and stab him in the back, even among some of his so-called friends, because he will not go along with their ideological demands. We have a Democrat Party that seems to exist to fundamentally transform America. A Democrat Party that nominates a Marxist Islamist just like this, Scam Donnie, for biggest city in the United States of America, a Marxist Islamist who preaches global intifada. What is global intifada, America? That means worldwide terrorism against you and me. And then he pretends he didn't say it, or it means something else. He wants to destroy the city of New York, and by God, if he gets elected, he will. We have an enemy within that funds the destruction of our colleges and universities with overseas money. We have dark money billionaires from within who are undermining our country. We have anti-Semitism spreading like we've never seen since the 1930s in Germany, and there's one man who's fighting it with his administration, and that is Donald Trump. Donald Trump knocked out those nuclear sites. The Israelis, quite frankly, laid the pathway for us to do it. Isn't it time we supported and rooted for the right people and condemned those who are not? I say this from the bottom of my heart. Mr. President, God bless you and thank you. The United States military, God bless you and thank you. Mr. Prime Minister, God bless you and thank you. Israeli military, God bless you and thank you. You've saved the world, maybe for a day, maybe for a month, maybe for 10 years, but you stepped up. And let us hope every generation that follows does exactly the same thing.
Some people like to call the values that unite the Jewish and the Christian community Judeo-Christian values. I actually like to call them Hebrew Bible values, because really it is the Hebrew Bible that undergirds our society, that our founders were basing the society on the foundations of the Hebrew Bible and were inspired by it. Even the so-called not so religious founding fathers found comfort, found inspiration, derived ethics from the Hebrew Bible text. In fact, the founding generation considered itself to be a new Israel, a new people that was crossing out of Egypt through the Red Sea into a new promised land. England was the new Egypt, the Atlantic Ocean was the new Red Sea, and America was the new promised land where they could live and serve God in a free way. And that is something that's so undergirded our founding society that Thomas Jefferson and Benjamin Franklin, not two of the most religious of the founding fathers, yet in 1776, when it came time to create the first national seal of the United States, they chose the imagery of Moses parting the Red Sea, because this is something that so undergirded the society that they took inspiration from it. And it didn't come into pass, but you just see that this was something that really captured the American imagination. The Judeo-Christian values, the Bible values, is what creates a stable society, a good society, and a righteous society. And the more that we today get in touch with who we are as Americans, more we recognize that is what undergirds our society, then we help this become something that's not only a part of what shaped our history, but it's something that will further our destiny as well. America's success as a future, as a nation, comes from having the Judeo-Christian values, the Bible values, Hebrew Bible values, undergird and championed in our society. And those that want to try to take that away are standing in the way of a successful America. If you like this content overall, hit that subscribe button over there in the corner. We'd love to stay in touch. Take care.